everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Of course, day one of Endgame being out and about, it's being reviewed, it's being pilloried in the press, some rather hilarious reviews of it, uniformly bad, starting to appear also in places like Amazon and Goodreads. 1-star reviews and then the occasional 5-star reviews. So it's pretty dreadful. It's poisonous, it's malicious, it's all of those things. It's not really saying anything scandalously new, but the Dutch version of Endgame does actually reveal the royal racists. And I don't have to say allegedly, because somebody has screenshot or screen grabbed and put it up. I've seen it on Reddit, and I can read Dutch. I've read it for myself, and yes, it does identify King Charles as the main culprit, also Princess Michael. Now apparently the Dutch publishers are withdrawing the book and saying it was the wrong version that was translated. They've been instructed by American agents to withdraw the book. So it's a toxic little story that's brewing, and of course you have to tread carefully with this reading because it's a legal minefield. But it's interesting. It's interesting that the Dutch version does literally say this, that it's now being pulled for legal reasons, but one wonders, one speculates whether this was an intentional leak to drip the story out and let it filter through social media, through chat platforms, and eventually rise to the surface in mainstream media. What is going on? I'm going to do a little I nearly said a 5-star reading. Well, I hope it's a 5-star reading. A 5-card reading with the Lunar Soul Tarot, which is my very woke tarot. And now, of course, there was another book that did out Charles and Camilla as the alleged racists, although of course Harry and Meghan are quick to say we never said they were racist. This unconscious bias thing, questioning the color of Archie's skin, joking about it over breakfast with Harry. That is the story, that allegedly that's what happened. And then when Harry trotted back to Meghan and said, tee-hee, that's what they were saying, is it going to have a ginger, is Archie, sorry, not it, the baby, going to have a ginger afro, ho, ho, ho. Meghan took offense. And of course, with Princess Michael, she very stupidly wore that blackamoor brooch to the family Christmas lunch where many of them met Meghan Markle for the first time. And Meghan took great offense at the blackamoor brooch, which was a family heirloom. Lady C has gone on at length trying to explain that brooch. My suspicion is that many of the people at that family lunch all those years ago didn't even know at that point that Meghan Markle was biracial. My personal suspicion is that Harry didn't know she was biracial when he first met her in the biblical sense of met, and I think that's one of the reasons why he married her ultimately, even though at some stage he tried to weasel his way out of the relationship. Anyway, that's a detour. We know that Charles wrote to Meghan after the Oprah interview. We know that Meghan wrote to Charles before the coronation and raised the whole racist thing again, and that there were 2 racists. We know that Scooby-Doo has somehow got access to those very private letters. It seems to be something that of a speciality of Meghan Markle's, is to give people access to very private family letters. Allegedly, let's say for legal purposes, even though there have been court cases about these things. A long preamble for a 5-card reading, a 5-star reading. We're going to look and we're going to ask the Lunar Soul Tarot if Charles is indeed the one accused of being racist by Meghan and Harry, how he feels about this, whether this book, the Dutch version of Endgame, that's the judgment card, the Dutch version was leaked intentionally. Is this some sort of a ploy to get the accusation out into the mainstream without directly revealing it? I say, oh, that was an old copy, that was I don't know what excuse that they can make. That was before the lawyers said, no, you can't say that, and scratch it out. Blame the publishers. Don't blame Omid. Don't blame Harry and Meghan. And then, if the story does get out into the mainstream, how's this going to reflect on the king himself? Is this going to be a terrible thing? I see in my readings that there is potential for terrible things with this book. So far, so good. If you're on the side of the royals, it hasn't done any damage. But something like this could. It could be a little a delayed bombshell that's been planted somewhere, and it's tick, 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 ticking. So let's see what's going on. I think we've got our cards. Let's remind you, very important, that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all just my opinion, speculation. We read energy here, archetypal energy, and there is, of course, a disclaimer in the box below. Please do your own research, form your own opinions, especially in these kinds of stories. We have the Four of Discs in reverse, Four of Pentacles in reverse. That is losing control. A firm, it's just the firm, but the firm being destabilized by something like this with the card in reverse. Not sure yet who's precisely lost control. Is it the publishers who've lost control? Was it an accident? The wrong version went out, the version before the lawyer said, oh no, you can't print that. Take that right out. Or was this the king who's lost control? Badly so, damagingly so. And possibly made it worse by writing letters to somebody who, as I say, has no problem with making sure that those letters are leaked via third parties to the press at a moment that suits her, which would of course be the subject of her memoir. If she's writing her memoir, Tom Bauer insists that she is writing her memoir from what he has heard, and of course that letter will be in it, I should imagine. It makes me shudder to imagine. So let's see the situation. What are we dealing with here? We're dealing with the Empress, that's Meghan Markle. The pregnant woman, you can see the color of her skin. She's pregnant, she's the mother. She's the one who took offense when, laughing over breakfast, they wondered if poor Archie would have her skin tone, although she did significantly darken over the time she was in the royal family. Interesting, given the climate in the UK, where most people get paler and paler. She got darker and darker. As I say, the poor child would have the ginger afro, with Harry's ginger jeans would trump hers. Ho, ho, ho. Yes, tactless, but yeah, that's what families do. Not intended as malicious, but she took offense. There she is. So we're dealing with pregnant woman, the mother, allegedly pregnant woman, the mother who took offense. Genetically the mother, whether you subscribe to other theories about the delivery of the baby is neither here nor there for these purposes. Is Charles the one who's been accused of being the racist by Harry and Meghan? Four of Wands, that's the royal family. I think that's a yes, because it is the firm, it is the royals, the family. It's happy families, it's home. It indicates to me that this happened at home. This happened in a chatting about, you know, how lovely she's pregnant and you're going to have a child and it's going to be another grandchild for us, and oh, isn't this wonderful, and let's chat about and speculate. Is it going to get your eyes, your nose, your bad teeth, your sticky out ears? You know, you could say cruel things about Charles. I don't think he's had bad teeth, but certainly sticky out ears. You know, that would be my worry if I was her. Are those ears going to be the first thing I see when baby arrives? But that's just me. So I think so. I think very close to home with the Four of Wands, family, very close to home. How does Charles feel finding himself embroiled in this kind of mess? Strength card. that's interesting because it's not horror and dismay and oh, I'll never recover. You could read this various ways. You could feel that he has been tamed by the lion tamer here. Same lady, interestingly, has tamed a lion, has tamed the royal family, has got a hold over the royal family, because the Strength card is somebody who has learned to control themselves, their baser instincts, has mastered themselves. That is what the Strength card is about, self-control. So he may feel that he's lost control, Four of Pentacles in reverse, to this woman who's come into the royal family and now has a hold over him. That's how I'm going to read that card. I don't think he's feeling, oh well, I'm going to tough it out, I'm the top dog, I'm the boss, I'm the king. I don't think he sees it that way. I think he feels that he's now being dominated by this woman who has come into the family and caused absolute havoc in the family. So that's interesting. That explains our Four of Discs in reverse. That's, for me, the way that I am reading these cards. You could read them completely differently, but I'm the one doing the reading with my understanding and my connection with universe, and that's how it's coming through for me personally as a tarot reader. Tell us now about the leak in this book. A leak, was it an intentional leak, or was it an accident, a mistake that everyone is now scrambling to fix and hoping disappears? Nine of Wands in reverse. I think that there is some intention here, because Nine of Wands upright, you've got your guard up, you're protecting yourself, you've got your barriers around you, you're being careful. And when the card is in the reverse, you drop your guard, you drop your barriers, you open up. And I think that this is a way of saying, oh, we didn't mean to, because normally it's from a place of vulnerability and exhaustion that the guard is dropped, the barriers drop, and oh, it was just a mistake, we didn't mean to. But what does it do? It opens the floodgates to someone who's already embattled. So I think this is my speculation, pure opinion, that yes, this was done in such a way that they could deny that it was intended, and yet the barriers are down, the guards are down, the defenses are down, and it's going to come roaring out at some stage. That's how I'm seeing this, and it explains to me why I've had an uneasy feeling about this book, even though, as I say, on the surface it doesn't seem to be doing much damage. It's hurtful, it's nasty, but people are seeing it as hurtful and nasty. But this could be quite a different type of story that's, as I say, lying around just waiting to be picked up. Maybe. The impact on Charles, if this does get some traction in the mainstream media, yeah, this is going to cause havoc. Justice card in reverse. It's a great injustice, first of all, that's going to be perpetrated, because I think he really genuinely is not racist. And I think it would be something that's very unfair, that would stain his reputation, much like we saw William and Catherine having to endure when they went to the Caribbean, and the furore that was stirred up by Sussex squad type press and adjacent types stirred up all of that nastiness. I think the same kind of thing, but the Justice card in reverse also is litigation. So there possibly it might get it might have legal repercussions, not for the king. The thing that Scooby-Doo has said he's concerned about, and that's why he won't name the person. He's obviously been told by the lawyers, by the publishers, you can't name. Well, not in the UK, he can possibly name elsewhere, and possibly this is why it's happening in the Netherlands. The obvious place to do it would have been the US, but this is sneakier, this is cleverer in another language. Takes a little while for it to be picked up, translated, people to speculate and wonder, but there might be legal repercussions. from this. But for Charles himself, it's going to, people might see it as being terribly unfair. So it might cause him trouble. There might be a bit of a legal saga around it. But it also, you could say from that card that people are going to see it for what it is, that it is an attack on a defenseless person, 9 of Wands in reverse, somebody who can't go to court and sue basically for this, can't protect themselves, didn't do anything wrong. This was something that happened in a family context while they were celebrating a pregnancy. Innocent. Something that has been twisted and distorted and turned into something quite different. But he has lost control right now. He's lost control right back when it happened. Things went horribly wrong. She gained control of the narrative. But this is going to be seen as an injustice, but it's going to stay. Let's just clarify. I think it's important to clarify. Let's just see what that Justice card really means for the King. The public relationship with the King. Are they going to think less of him, or they're going to feel sorry for him? I'm getting feel sorry for. Perhaps something else will just give us a little bit. I've got 2 cards that have come out. Tower card, but the Tower's come out in reverse, and it's the 7 of Pentacles. People are going to see that this is a hit job on him with the Tower, trying to bring down the monarchy. Interesting to me that the ones who might actually go down in flames are, look at the color of them. Harry and Meghan might be the ones that go down in flames. An attempt to topple the monarchy, to topple him, to install Harry and Meghan, not going to work. And we have the 7 of Discs, which is a very reassuring card for me as a reader. It's somebody who's put in an enormous amount of effort into a situation. He has. It's 70, he's in his 70s, he's given his entire life to the monarchy, to service, and it's harvest time. It's reaping your rewards, your honorable rewards here with the 7 of Discs upright. So I think he's going to be okay, but he's going to go through it. It's going to be a tricky moment, a difficult moment, but I think people are going to see it for what it is, the injustice of it, the desire to topple, but has ended up toppling the 2 culprits, and we're going to look at that in the coming days, and the ramifications for Harry and Meghan of this truly evil book. In my opinion, I think it's an evil book. And Charles seems to be okay at the end with the 7 of Discs, that his legacy will be okay. He'll be able to look at the time that he spent, the work that he's done, the harvest. He'll be able to reap the benefits of his service in a comfortable way once this drama is over. But I do think personally there is going to be trouble down the line. But anyway, disclaimer in the box below, and thank you for watching this one, and see you on the next one.